I don't know, man. I'm a mama's boy. And I'm very independent. I moved out when I was 17. I mean, like, I'm super independent, but let me get sick. Now, it's been a few years since I've had mom, but again, love my wife. She didn't do anything wrong. I wasn't feeling well at all, and I was like, man, fuck this. I'm calling my mom. I called mom. My mom brought me, but she drove. I mean, like, it was like an hour and 45 minutes. She brought me soup and grilled cheese.
Aww.
Awesome, right? Took care of me. She left the next day. She's like, oh, I got to get back to life now, but you going to be okay? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I appreciate it, Mom. And I felt like a little bit of a bitch inside, but...
But you also got soup and a grilled cheese.
And,
That's right.
and my mom came and took care of me, which I don't care, man. Like, and maybe not everybody has this, but nobody loves you like mama loves you.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I got 3 brothers, and I think they all agree, you know. So,
Yeah.
I'm 35, and, I mean, my mom is... it's still wildly important to me, so
Fingers crossed they'll still love me.
yeah, man, you're gonna have a period. You're in that period where it might get a little funky, because I got a little funky from like 17 to like early 20s, maybe 25, 26, but then it went the other way.
I got really lucky. They weren't mean teenagers.
You got lucky. I was.
But I mean, I think I was a brat for sure.
Yeah.
I'm probably still a brat, but they really weren't never like. Nobody was ever mean. Like,
good kids.
There was no door slam. They weren't perfect, but like we weren't like a yelling family. Like nobody was screaming at each other and hitting each other. None of that.
That's good.
Yeah. So we just. My son gets frustrated with me now.
I was gonna say, you got a 16-year-old though. You're not
a lot of
quite
hormones
through it yet.
Yeah, but also like he
testosterone.
knows he's my favorite, so
Hey.
he takes advantage of me so bad.
That's funny.
Because if he's nice, I'm like, what do you want me to buy you? Like, you're my favorite. Just say something funny.
That's hilarious.
That's funny. You've heard some of my material at the comedy club.
Yeah.
So I was fairly poor when I was growing up as a kid, and so I started working at 14.
Yeah.
And then I feel like by the time I was 16, I was really just like a roommate with my parents.
Right.
I mean, I love my parents. They're great.
Right, but you were doing all those things. You grew up fast.
Yeah.
And there's one thing about being a poor kid. I grew up poor kid. Poor kids grow up fast.
Right. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of reality for you that other people just don't have.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
Like I was paying my own insurance and my own car payment and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
At 17.
It's funny. My kids have gotten handed kind of whatever they want, right? Like it's because it's so fun when you were poor. You're like, we can have all the Legos. And and like at the expense of, I mean, I'm like, I do need some new clothes, but you could have more Legos. Let's get like, I don't care about me.
Very momish right there.
Yeah.
Moms will go without so their kids
Let's
have
get
something.
one more set. These are buy one get one half off. And so it was hard because I was like, oh, I want you to appreciate. I want to make sure I'm not giving you more like skits where you don't appreciate it.
Yeah.
But also, I do want to buy all these things.
Yeah. We're really cautious with our daughter about that.
You got to be careful.
Yeah.
But as long as they get it.
Yeah.
Mine were never bratty about it. That's when I would have known that was too far.
Yeah.
But it was,
Ours isn't either. She won't ask for anything. She's asked for just a
handful
of things.
Yeah.
Rarely will she ask. If she says something she really likes, she's like, Daddy, can I have this, for my birthday or Christmas? I was like,
It is funny, though. Like, I had probably 20 books, 3 toys. I remember when I got an Atari, it was my birthday money, and I remember, and I had 2 games for the longest time. Like, it wasn't like now they get the system, which is more than anything.
$600, yeah.
Yeah, and
like
then 5 games with it, like it's nothing.
Yeah.
And
I remember getting an Atari when all my friends had Nintendos.
Yeah.
I understand.
I never got a Nintendo.
I still liked it.
Yeah.
I actually got a Nintendo 2 years later.
There you go.
Yeah. But it's good. But
My kids are the opposite of that. I teach them to negotiate, and they bargain with me and they negotiate with me constantly and with their mom.
it works well, though.
Yeah, it does well, but they're literally like, today, before I left, how much money do you have to earn today for me to get this? And I was like, wait a second here. Because I tell them, I explain to them why I'm leaving, why I'm working, what I'm doing,
right.
etc. And I'm like, well, Daddy can buy it now, but you need to work if you want to cover, because they have to cover half. If something I don't want to do, they got to cover half of it. Now I got to give them an opportunity to earn real money.
Right.
I can't pay them in quarters. So I pay them probably a little less than I'd pay an adult to do something. But that way they can earn, and then they feel it, right? They buy a bunch of $5 items. They can't buy the $50 one, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, and he's like, well, I've had a long week. I don't know if I want to work anymore. And I was like, bro.
You made a little old man.
Yeah, I was like, bro. I was like, I don't know what you've been doing this week. He's like, lots of stuff. Mom's been making me do lots of stuff. I was like, all right, well, I said, I think you're gonna have to do a few more things if you'd like to earn it this weekend. So,
That's
but
cute.
they'll negotiate. They'll
I don't
be
know
like,
if I'm ready for this.
yeah, they'll be like, well, this item's $20, but if you'll cover half of it, I can get the $30 one. And I'll be like, I mean, like they're good with it. I came home literally. In my house right now, in boxes, are 2 guitars I left. I went to the guitar shop yesterday and got there 5 minutes before they closed. And somehow my children convinced me, and I bought guitars and took them home. So I'm having a little struggle with it.
Now you're realizing what you did. You're like, now I'm going to listen to 2 guitars.
Yeah. Now I'm like, what the hell did I do that for? But they're good, man. They're like, they're getting
great kids.
They're teaming up. Yeah. They're getting smart, man. They're like putting each other. All 3 of them are like against me, right?
They're all boys too.
Yeah.
All boys?
All boys, yeah. And my youngest one's 4, and he's just like, he's cute when he negotiates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing about the little one
Yeah.
is they are so cute.
Yeah.
And I'm the baby of the family. The thing about being the baby of the family is you learn how to manipulate. That's the skill set that is gifted to the youngest from whatever superpower.
I think he's
you have to overpower the older
right.
siblings.
You can't. Yeah. There's a lot of things you can't do. You can't play. You can't win the games. You can't.
Yeah.
So you figure out how to manipulate, and it's a wonderful skill.
Oh, yeah, he's good.
But and it works out in regular life, your entire life.
Oh. No, you're exactly right.
I mean,
yeah. Here's the conversation went. Daniel says, my 9-year-old, well, Dad, I've already got a guitar. I don't know that it's fair that Sebastian doesn't. My 7-year-old. Sebastian's like, yeah, Dad, I really like a guitar. I don't know how much money it costs, but I'll pay my part. I'm like, now I got 2 of them against me, right? Cameron's just sitting there, my now 4-year-old. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess if you want to pay part of it. And then Daniel goes, well, Dad, you told me when I got my guitar because you thought it was educational that you'd pay for all of it. So shouldn't you pay for all of Sebastian's guitar? Now, remember, he's 9.
Oh, yeah.
And Sebastian's like, oh, you paid for Daniel. He's 7. You paid for Daniel's? I'm like, yeah, I did. I was like, all right, I'll pay for your guitar since I paid for Daniel's guitar, right? And then Cameron, my 4-year-old, says, well, Daddy, I want a guitar. And I was like, what the
Well,
fudge?
and you're cute, so I don't know where I lose this, I think.
So somehow last night I come home with both of them guitars, and I'm like, but it's not just guitar, the stand, and the amp, right, and the cables, $800 bucks. Like, how did I get swindled here? These 3 tag team me, and they should be way too young to do it. But it's my own doing because I teach them to ask, ask
you taught
and
him to
negotiate.
tag team you.
It's like, all right, well, shit. I'm gonna have to bone up on my negotiating skills here.
Yes.
Roped into this one.
That's cute.
I think having a daughter is harder to say no to, though. Like, a little girl is different to me. I don't have a...
Well, too, for you, everything she wants is stuff you probably didn't want when you were a kid. So you're like, oh, she probably needs it.
Oh, that's true.
All the girls have it.
Yeah.
She's the only girl that doesn't have it. I mean, now everything is so different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there were girl and boy toys when we were little, and that's not the thing anymore so much. I mean, it's still
Well, she asked me
exists.
for software. She'll ask me for like a game that she saw an ad for.
Yeah.
It's like, Daddy, there's this game. It's like dentist something. I'm like, what? It's like, no, on the iPad, dentist something. I have to look it up. I'm like, oh, this? She's like, yeah.
That's funny.
That's right. Maybe she'll be a dentist.
I kind of want a
Maybe.
girl
My
still.
wife's a hygienist.
That'd be
Oh,
cool.
there you go.
Yeah.
I kind of want a girl still. I got 3 boys. My wife's done. But
You can't, and you also can't have all 3 in one room. You can't have
I
another
know.
one.
Well, this is why I want another one because I'm not the one that's going to do the work, I guess. But
You might just get a 4th boy.
that's probably what would happen.
The anxiety is so much, though.
With a girl?
Kids. With just a child.
I mean, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, I was very wrapped up in it, right? So it was like adoption on we adopted in January, and then I had the next kid in December, and then it was like, when's the next baby coming?
Yeah.
And then time went by, and I was like, oh, this is work. Like, this is scary. Things can happen to them. Bad things can happen,
Yeah.
and I was like, I can't. And every time I take somebody to the hospital, I'm like, oh my God, and then your friends who are now millennials don't have kids, so or whatever they're doing. They have gardens and stuff.
And
Thankfully.
dogs.
Yeah, yeah, but they're all having gardens and roommates or whatever they're doing. I don't know.
Tiny homes.
Tiny homes and giving their money to charity. Silly, no, no. But
Silly kids.
Silly kids, but they're doing different stuff, and they're out drinking every night, and I'm like, oh yeah, you don't have any people to worry about. I mean, you are responsible, but it's different. Kids are. That changes a lot. Like, that does shake you up.
Yeah.
Which we know we're getting older because the millennials are starting to have kids now. So
How old are they?
I think millennials are in their 30s now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows?
The older millennials.
Yeah.
The founders.
The founders.
The
creators.
And you don't even know if they're really millennials.
It'll be interesting to see what everybody sort of shakes out to be. Because I remember, I'm 44, so we were supposed to be the last Generation X
I think
people, which was born in 76.
Well,
But
no,
then they
I'm Gen
extended
X. Yeah. So I think it goes to 82 now.
Yeah, but it was supposed to be 70s.
Oh.
And then the kids that were a year younger than us, and in my high school, they did act super. I mean, I know it's all nonsense, but those kids were way different. They were really different than our grade.
Yeah.
And we were much more like the grade that was a year older. But whatever, Gen X, I don't know what we really are. We
I'm Gen X, too,
Nirvana. What else?
Yeah,
do we?
Nirvana, grunge.
We all had jobs in high school.
Yeah.
Everybody's employed now.